FBI's Crossfire Hurricane investigation made 17 significant errors and omissions. Was it incompetence or anti-Trump bias?
Although we did not find documentary or testimonial evidence of intentional misconduct, we also did not receive satisfactory explanations for the errors or the missing information and the failures that occurred.
I mean, what's the explanation? Why over time? Why would all of these people 4 times over the space of half a year deliberately mislead a federal court?
We don't make a conclusion as to the intent here, so I want to be clear about that. But that was precisely the concern we had, is what you lay out. There are so many errors, we couldn't reach a conclusion or make a determination on what motivated those failures.
Well, it just seems to me that it has to be one or two things. Either incompetence or intentional conduct.
I agree. I think it's fair for people to sit there and look at all of these 17 events and wonder how it could be purely incompetence. There is such a range of conduct here that is inexplicable.
Inexplicable? Maybe not. The IG found that the Crossfire Hurricane team was the source of many problems.
So, who ran this thing?
Peter Strozk managed the operations side of Crossfire Hurricane, according to the IG.
He's a big player in all things Crossfire Hurricane.
Strozk traded anti-Trump text messages with FBI attorney Lisa Page during the 2016 presidential campaign.
These are 2 central characters in this debacle.
Senator Graham read several of the texts, including one of the most damning.
Page to Strozk. He's not ever going to become president, right? Strozk, no, he won't. We'll stop it. These are the people in charge.
Let's flash back to June 19, 2018, where Strozk testified at congressional hearings. Representative Darrell Issa had Strozk read a few of his texts to Lisa Page.
Trump is a disaster. I have no idea how destabilizing his presidency would be.
Page said, not ever going to become president, right?
No, he's not. We'll stop it.
Strozk led the investigation that was riddled with errors. Not one of them was in favor of Team Trump. Was that just a coincidence or bias?
I do not think that that bias was expressed in those text messages. I can tell you that those text messages are not indicative of bias. I can assure you, Mr. Chairman, at no time in any of these texts did those personal beliefs ever enter into the realm of any action I took.
Strozk's investigation smeared Donald Trump in 2016 without evidence. And Strozk is still doing it today, again without evidence.
I think it is clear, I believed at the time in 2016, and I continue to believe, that Donald Trump is compromised by the Russians. And when I say that, I mean that they hold leverage over him that makes him incapable of placing the national interest, the national security ahead of his own. One of the largest ways that foreign governments gain leverage, certainly in the case of the president, is through financial entanglements. And I think when you take a look at the Trump financial enterprise, particularly its relationship with Russian monies and potentially those related to organized crime and other elements, that those interactions have placed him in a position where the Russians have leverage over him and are able to influence his actions.
The FBI fired Strozk. He lost his badge, but not his delusional beliefs about President Trump and Russia. This is John Spiropoulos reporting.